Hi, welcome to the replay viewers. Welcome to the live broadcast on the web, Apple TV. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I'm going to turn this around. Viewers, please invite and share. My name is Janice Temple, and I'm the founder of World Black History on Periscope. Please share and invite your followers. Hi, Tiffany. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. What account am I sharing out of here? I want to make sure. Hi, Cordelia. Hi, Reverend Daryl. Oh, why does this say location unknown? Greetings. You're doing well? So, okay, Rena's inviting followers. Okay, I had to make sure I was using the right account. I was like, can they find me? Welcome, Rena. Welcome, Ketchy. Welcome, Cassandra. Thanks for sharing and inviting your followers. So today we are going to talk about making amends for slavery. Thanks for sharing, Daryl. You're doing good, Rena. I so appreciate everyone. Rena, Kichi, welcome, Top Flight. I'm missing some names of people to invite. Welcome, Nyla. Thank you. Welcome, Zeus Thoughts. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. Hey, Nyla, how are you? Hi, Oxarine. Hi, Yakamos. Welcome, welcome. Sounds like it's going to be a great scope. Yes, it will be, Tiffany. You're well, Nyla. Awesome. Kichi says, hello, sis. Hi, Pious Lady. So I'm going to turn the camera around and get started. Once again, my name is Janice Temple. Good day, good day. And I'm the founder of World Black History on Periscope. And our mission is to share Black history with love and understanding. So, Way OC. Okay, Way OC. Nice to meet you, Way OC. Yes, Cess and Harmony and Kichi say. Hiya, Sika. Welcome. Around. So there is a book and a documentary. Hi, Natalie Crew. Welcome. Called Inheriting the Trade. And yes, Cassandra was very interesting. Oh my God. And Kichi, yes, yours was too. Hi, Kadi. Hi, Hadi. So I wanted to share with you about Inheriting the Trade. And it is a book by Thomas D. Wolfe, and it talks about his family. And has anybody heard of Inheriting the Trade? Anybody heard of this book? Are you guys say, sounds like an awesome book? Love that scope, hoping you went there. Now, no. Okay. All right, no. All right, so I had not either. I did a radio interview, and so they had him on the phone, and he and another woman were going around the country to visit plantations. And she is the descendant of a slave, and he is the descendant of a slave-holding family. So can you imagine touring a plantation with someone who admits to being from a slaveholding family? And that's what he did. Thomas D. Wolfe basically says that he is taking on, I guess, the sins or admitting, taking responsibility for the whites who enslaved others. Because most people say, yeah, okay, so I'll show you. I'm going to play the video. You see his name, Thomas D. Wolfe? That's his name right here. So I'm going to play the video for you guys.
Now that I know Bill Clinton was over there.
Oh, let me start it over. So it's Thomas D. Wolfe of Inheriting the Trade, Africa's Involvement in the Slave Trade.
And the Africans themselves were also involved in sort of procuring the slaves. And now that I know Bill Clinton was over there 10 years ago, and you're making a movie there, I'm not sure if there's more exposure. They're getting more publicity about it. And I was wondering if some of the Africans themselves are coming to grips with maybe their own participation in sort of starting the industry.
Dane and Ledley, these two gentlemen right here, are both Episcopalians. Ledley's a priest. He was my roommate on this entire trip. And with me being so upset about what took place with the churches built directly above the dungeons, we had some very interesting conversations late at night, Ledley and I did, with him being a priest. They went to a church, in an Anglican church in Cape Coast for a service. And you know, the only two white people in the church. We were just about the only 10 white people in the whole country, we were convinced. It's not a place that white American tourists typically go to. That said, they spoke with that priest specifically about this, and they said, we're here because our family was involved in the slave trade, and you know, we're considering what sort of acknowledgement is appropriate for our family, what sort of steps that we should take to deal with our family history. And he said, well, if anyone's going to apologize, we need to apologize as well, because we were just as complicit. You know, it got to be a discussion of the elites in Africa and the elites in this country exploiting other people. And there was resistance in Africa by Africans, and there was, you know, people involved in the trade in Africa as well. And that's, you know, that's fully acknowledged in this project and fully acknowledged by the people that we were meeting with in Ghana. It's really, you know, it's a human story, not uniquely the South, not uniquely American. It's you know, we're all in this together.
Okay, so now I want to go back to the book and read a little bit from his book. So it talks about growing up white. When we sit back down, the tears fall from Katrina's eyes. She explains that when she was in her late 20s, she read a booklet about her family history written by her grandmother. She hesitates and looks down again. It's hard and scary to know that one is connected to evil people. There was so much family pride. Now she felt far from proud. She could not say out loud to anyone that she was descended from slave traders. And she looks again from face to face. She wipes her tears, takes a breath, and smiles. Her voice becomes stronger. And so, inheriting the trade is, here we are, says Katrina Brown. I hear that, but they were approached and co-opted by the traders. They didn't begin the trade. Okay, Rena, I'm just reading from this book. We'll go into that in another scope, all right? We'll go in that to another scope. We need to let Africa speak on that. I cannot speak on that. The continent of Africa has to speak on that. They have the history. I do not have the history. I was not there, okay? So whatever their opinion is has to come from them. Her eyes flit from face to face, and her smile gives way to a tiny laugh. Today is July 1st, 2001. 9 of us, 4 men and 5 women, sit in a circle of chairs on the back porch of a white clapboard house near Bristol, Rhode Island. The house is surrounded by trees and bushes so thick I can't tell how close the nearest neighbors live. I feel detached from the rest of the world. The only sounds intruding upon the silence are those we make and those of the birds. I can smell the ocean from here. These people are my distant cousins. I met most of them for the first time earlier this morning at church and have met Katrina once before. She looks cool in her short hair and sleeveless. Oh, okay. No problem. No problem. She looks cool in her short hair and sleeveless blouse despite the summer heat. So she's meeting her cousins who are also descendants of the slave trade. And they decide to go to Africa together. So that's what this meeting is. So they go on this journey and they explore the connection. So what they're doing is they're exploring the connection of shipping the slaves, going to Africa, of the triangle. So they were part of the triangle. And this is oh my goodness. This is a, what do you call it? New England family. And I think the relative who started it, the most wealthiest one was a governor or something like that, that they are descendants from. And so what they would do would be they would go to the slave coast, to the Benin area, get the slaves, take them down to Barbados. They had plantations in Barbados, and they would pick up molasses and sugar, and then they would bring that back to New England. Well, Massachusetts also participated in that as well. Yes, Massachusetts did as well with the slave trade. And so what I've learned in going on the tours is that it was a lot of the governors. And so at one time, the slave trade was so lucrative that no one paid taxes. There was no taxation at all. That's how lucrative this business was. But I thought it was amazing that Thomas DeWolf and his family decided to admit to the world, so that there could be healing, that they were descendants of the slave trade. And they actually went to go and see the places where their family brought the slaves from. And so when they went to this Anglican church and they saw that the church was built on top of the slave holding places, he wept. He wept. Yeah. And so the church was just as involved. The church was literally on top and the slaves were underneath. So the church was part of the slavery as well. And for that, that's what he was talking about in the video. So, yes, the Anglican Church did have much involvement. Yeah, it's very true. And so that's why when they brought the slaves over, remember they brought yes, they did take the church. Yeah, they did bring the church. And that's when they were saying, I'll put my glasses. My great-grandfather was from Barbados. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Colonial masters brought the church. They did bring the church. They brought lots of priests, and religion has always been used to conquer people. If you go back and look in the Bible, there are lots of wars. The church was a part of the colonization of Africa. Absolutely, it was. It was. Absolutely. And so what he's doing in the book and in his journey around the U.S., so now he's working on another book, and he is joined with this woman that is a descendant of the slave, and they are writing about it. That's what they're doing. They are writing about it. And so it is a very complex issue, but we have to, so in this, we have to come to grips with a way for healing. We can't just keep pointing fingers at each other, and saying, you did this. I mean, there has to be healing at some point so we can move forward. So I'm going to play this video excerpt touring the Cape Coast of Ghana. I'm going to turn this around. It's a lesson plan. So this is a resource and you can use it. It's on PBS, Traces of the Slave, touring the Cape Coast of Ghana. So you can definitely use this to teach.
I think all of us have a sense of this. There's something here that will give us more clues about ourselves and about black-white relations here today, and the sort of unfinished business of it all. So that it's clearly there's still issues in this country, even if you
Okay. Oh, I'm like, where are these people talking? Okay, now we can go back to this. Okay, this is better.
The Portuguese were the first to land here. It was sometime for the slave boats that arrived here. There were Christian missionaries on board. When you start our tour, you'll find that on top of the dungeon, there is a church. One of the first things that would be done to you when you're captured was to be baptized. You lose your name. and take a Christian name. You become a slave in the name of God.
A lot of what I was feeling was numbness, a difficulty in getting in touch with what must it have been like for these people. I'm also finding that I'm more in touch with the experience of my ancestors than that of the Africans who were being so badly mistreated. We were in the room where James DeWolf must have been negotiating to buy slaves.
July 6, 1795. Bought one man-boy slave. Paid for him rum. 6 handkerchiefs for the women slaves.
It's important to compare the space we are going into here, which was reserved, the space we are coming from, which was reserved for the governor and his visitors, his guests, to the space here that was reserved for as many as 1,000 people who were already in chains.
Five rooms, 15 feet by 30 feet, and that's 1,000 people.
But I think what is also important is just the psychology of being kept here in this darkness, with the sea roaring in the background. You are dealing with people who have never had anything to do with the sea. Many of them are coming from inland, 100, in some cases 1,000 miles away. And it's also known that in most cases, the actual time of arrival here would be timed to be in the night. And then we get into this enclosed space with the darkness.
Cockroaches were crawling on the walls. There was something unspeakable about the packed earth floor.
We've done that which has been asked of us, yet there's room for more. But we pray that the Spirit of Almighty God and the Spirit of our ancestors accept this humble token and symbolism of our paying tribute to them and never letting their memory nor their legacy die. May they live forever.
The door of no return. So how am I on time, Rena? Well, thanks for sharing that. Oh, welcome, Crystal. So my name is Janice Temple for those of you who are just joining. My question has always been, why would we participate in the religion that was definitely brought to... Oh, okay. All right. So I'm going to go to Making Amends for Slavery. Because they had 24 hours, I think, in order to be brought to Christianity. They did not have a choice. They didn't choose. So, yeah, that's what it is. So, Making Amends for Slavery, reparations, the stretch for repair. Merriam-Webster defines as one repairing or keeping in repair, the act of making amends, offering expiation or giving satisfaction for a wrong or injury, the payment of damages, reparations for the suffering and wealth appropriated from and denied to African Americans, has long been a topic of debate as well as policy practiced in the United States. And then as early as the 19th century in America, thank you. Activists such as Sojourner Truth and Henry McNeil Turner called for the mass federal aid to assist free blacks. In the early 20th century, 600,000 African Americans lobbied for the federal government to give pensions to the formerly enslaved. These African Americans also filed reparation lawsuits in federal courts in 1915. Today, many people who espouse reparations argue that there has never been a national implementation of reparations offered on a scale necessary to bridge the socio-economic divide between blacks and whites. Supporters of reparations for African Americans point to hundreds of years of state-sponsored white supremacy and white privilege and argue that there is a real need for increased investment into the African American community to achieve equality and provide justice. On the other hand, many proponents argue that because racial discrimination is currently illegal, there is no need for financial remuneration for past crimes. Opponents also argue that race-focused policy solutions are too divisive. John H. McWhorter of the conservative Manhattan Institute argues that social programs such as welfare and affirmative action were all the reparations necessary for any past injustices against African Americans. Finally, with regard to historic racial acts, particularly slavery, opponents argued that if neither the victims nor the oppressors are still currently alive, reparations for such a dated crime would be unjust. Well, do you know that there is a man that went to court and he just won 40 acres and a mule? Yes, and he went to the Supreme Court, so that has just changed. Someone actually won that right. He argued in court that he was a descendant of a Civil War veteran, and the veterans, when they returned, the 54th Regiment, when they returned from the war, they were promised, yes, they were promised land, and he received land. And I'm not sure, I don't know if it's in Florida or not, but he did receive land. So this is it, reparations in the Civil War. Following the end of the Civil War, a form of mass reparations for African Americans was attempted. In January 1865, a few months before the defeat of the Confederacy, General Sherman of the Union Army issued Special Order Number 15 to distribute land under Union occupation to 40,000 blacks. But within a year, President Andrew Johnson's administration allowed almost all of the land to be returned to the white landowners. President Johnson also voted to end the barely Bureau of Refugees, freedmen, and abandoned lands through this veto, though this veto was overridden and was popularly called the Freedmen's Bureau continued. So this, when General Sherman promised these soldiers that they would receive land, it went to 40,000 blacks, and I think the survivors of this now can receive it. So reparations, and it just happened, I think, like within the last month, that this case was successfully tried at the Supreme Court, and the descendant won. So isn't that awesome? That is possible now. That they're finally honoring it. So that is one way of healing. Because all these promises were made that have never been kept. So he has received his 40 acres. He has received his 40 acres. So I'm going to show you guys. This is a PBS documentary, and you can use this as a lesson plan to teach students. What now? Not really. We built the weapons, fed the soldiers, waited on the... Well, it's a beginning, because for so long we talked about reparations and they never came. So this is like a landmark case to have this, I believe, let me see if I can find the man's name who won this case, because it actually happened. So that's a shift, because since the 1865, whenever that order was issued, they have not been doing it. I was referring to the present time. Part of making amends could be for us to learn the history and what? Because it's been a broken promise since 1865, and now it's 2016, and they're finally giving the land, the 40 acres that people have said was a broken promise. So it is available. Reject the institutions that enslaved us, like Christianity. Oh, nobody's doing that, but thank you. So small, very small, too late. Need to give up the Native Americans, Japanese, and the Jews. I don't understand. Okay. I think this, probably needs to be in a larger conversation. I'm getting snippets, so I don't understand all of what you guys are saying. I got, making amends, it is a start. It is a start. That's all I'm saying. For sure, it's complex. Absolutely, it's complex. But it's a beginning. It's a beginning. And I think it's awesome that Thomas DeWolf is taking it on, too. It's a hard pill to swallow, but I think we need to really examine it. Examine what? Nobody's giving up Christianity. We're not here. This is these are educational broadcasts for children in school. We are not talking religion. We're not talking religion. We are presenting facts of history. Reparations can get intense. So I wish I could find this. I have like 2 minutes left, and then who's up next? Throw up some emojis. Cordelia. Cordelia is awesome. Where is Cordelia? Cordelia is live. Okay, well, let's go. She's live. So we will see you there. She is live. Ciao. So she is live? Because she says she's live, you guys. Tell me, look and see if she is. Rena, look and see if she is. And then I'll hop off. She is. Ciao, you guys.